Okay, welcome to Make Something Happen 60, the big 60, which is build a server. This is kind of funky. This actually has hardware in it. Woohoo, exciting times. But before we get anywhere, we have to put some software on our hardware to make it useful. And we're going to put Raspberry Pi OS on the thing. And the best way to do this, it's a wonderful, wonderful mechanism, is to use the imager from the Raspberry Pi company themselves. If you go to Raspberry Pi, www.raspberrypi.com/software, as you can see here, and then if you go there, you get this page, and it says download for Windows. This is the program which lets you take an image for your Raspberry Pi and actually burn it onto a memory card, which will allow you to then boot your Pi from that, and away you go. And so if I hit this, is it thinking? Did I hit the button right? In a few moments it should download it. Something's lit up here. Let's see if anything's happening. A good place to grow world. Here we go. It's coming down. That's good. And once that's come down, then we can open it and it will do the installation thing. Here we go. So you do this once, then the program's on your PC, and it works very similar on the other platforms as well. And I'm wondering if I've actually clicked on that, but I'll give it a few seconds to get going, because this machine, as we've already established, is actually very slow. But I don't mind that because it gives me time to talk. Oh, okay, no smart screen connection. Okay, I'll run it anyway because I do trust it. It's a trusted app. So here we go. Yes, I'll allow you to make changes. There we go. I'm just checking because I've got a whole bunch of cameras and things. Yeah, just hit install. Yeah, do that. Now, the first time you do it, it'll have to download the images from the internet, which might take a little while. But once you've done that, it then knows where they were and goes off and finds them. Now, the image is a few gigabytes worth of operating system, which we'll now actually have to get onto our machine and then onto the memory card. And so if I start the imager program going, which it is doing at the moment, then clicky, 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 here it comes. At the moment, yeah, choose my operating system and choose my storage. Well, I'd like to use, let's have a look. I'd like to use the Raspberry Pi OS, yes please. And I'll go to have Raspberry Pi. Now, here's the thing, mild thing. If you're using a Raspberry Pi 3 or 4, you can install the 64-bit version of the operating system. If you're using anything other than that, an original Raspberry Pi or a Pi Zero or whatever, then you want the 32-bit. Now, I'm going to install the 32-bit because I'm a coward and because I happen to know that it's not guaranteed that things will work across all the versions of the OS. So I'm going to hit that. And so now I'm going to use the standard 32-bit. It will work on both devices. This gives me the chance of making a memory card which will work across all the different versions of the Pi. So I can pop this out of my Pi 4 and plug it into my Pi 0 and it will still work, which is quite amazing. So now let's have a look at our hardware. And to do this, I'm going to press a button which will show me nothing. Oh, that's good. How about that one? That's better. This is my Pi. This is my memory key reader. Open it up. There you go. Put the memory card in it. It'll go in wrong way round first time because I know how these things are. There you go. Put it in the right way round. There you go. Put it in the third time's a charm. No. Okay. I'm having a day. You don't want to know about my day. There you go. You're going to go in there. If I put it in the wrong way up, it won't work at all. So I am having a day. It's in, it's happy. I can now plug this into my PC and I can deploy software. If you haven't got one of these, you'll have to find one. That's the memory card in there. And then now you've actually got the device to plug in. So I'll go back to the screen and we'll make something happen. Okay, so I plug it into my PC. In the side, there we go. And now there'll be, if I once it's installed, I can now go choose storage. And it will say, where do you want to put it? Well, it's the device with, I'm not going to bother format. It's now going to go nuts because it's found all kinds of stuff which I don't care about. So you can all go away. I don't want to format it because I'm just about to destroy it. It's not accessible. That's all good. Yeah, okay, cancel. I really have upset it doing that. The 32GB one is the one that's plugged in the side of my machine. And so now I've picked a mass storage device. Yep, that one there. I'm all poised to write it, but before I do that, let's do something really sensible. Let's preload everything into the thing. And so here I'm going to call this, well, in the book, I call it IoT Master, I think. Yes, we've done all this stuff here. We're making progress, jolly good. In the book, I call it IoT Master, so I'll call this one Master 2 because I've already got one called IoT Master. So you can call it what you like. It's just a name by which you will find. But you need to know what it is. I'm going to turn on secure, enable SSH. I'm going to use person. Now, what's SSH is a secure socket hosting thing, which means I can log into my device. That will let me do that. I'm going to have a username. It's suggested Rob My, which I can put in if I like. But if I wanted to, I can give it the username. I don't know. I don't mind. Let's go for Rob actually, because I quite like Rob. And invent a password. And I'm gonna think of a password and write it down, and then you're gonna not know what it is, because if I don't write things down, then I lose them. Okay, so I'm going to give it a password and write it down. And I'm going to configure the wireless LAN now. Now, what this means is I can get my Pi running without needing to do any of the annoying configuration stuff. And it's actually remembered this. I don't quite know how it's remembered this. I must have used it on this machine. But what you have to do is go off and find your SSID for your access point. And then type in your password in there, and then having done that, and that seems broadly correct. This will either work or it won't. We're going to go for locale settings. Yeah, we're going to go for Europe, London, because that's where I am. You can set it to what you like. And so this is wonderful, because it means that when the machine wakes up, it'll appear on my network as master.local. Let's call it master 2 actually. Yeah, master2.local. And at that point, I can then navigate to it from the Secure Sockets program on my PC I'm typing in at the moment, and I can talk to it without any need for wires or monitors or keyboards or anything. And this is great if you're configuring a machine that you don't intend to put a monitor and a keyboard on, which for lots of IoT devices will almost certainly be the case. So I can save all this, and the assumption I'm making is that I'm assuming this password is correct, but I don't actually know. So I'm going to pause the video just for a second, double check that, and then come back. Okay, checked and saved. So now we should be able to hit the save button here, and it will save it. So now all I have to do is press the right button, and that will start the process of bringing down the operating system and then putting it into the mass storage device. Boom. Yes, it'll erase everything. I don't care about that. And so now it'll do a whole bunch of stuff which will take a while. And so what I will do is I'll pause the video, and then when it's finished we can get back together again, and I can plug the memory card into my PC. No, not my PC would be daft, into my Raspberry Pi, and at that point we can start actually playing with the okay, that was quite quick, but anyway, I'll see you in a second or two. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, the write has finished, and now my PC wants to remount all this stuff, which is going to cause all kinds of annoyance, because all I can do now is I can remove this chap. I can remove the drive from the PC. I can now actually go past there. I can now flip back to my camera so that you can see what I'm doing. That's not worked at all. How about that one? That's better. There you go. I've got the cameras numbered 1, 2 and 4, and I keep, for reasons that can't be established, I keep pressing 3. So now I'm going to pick this chap up, and I'm going to plug the memory card into the hole in the bottom. There we go. I'm not very good with hardware, as you can probably tell. Okay, so I'll plug that in. The card is now plugged in. Now the Pi will now use that to boot from. Of course, nothing much will happen until I turn the power on, so I think I will do that now. And now, aha, my camera's fallen out. Oh my goodness, that was, oh, you see, some days I wake up and I get out of bed and then things happen and I think, oh, today's going to be horrible, isn't it? And that happened to me this morning. And since then I've had a £400 bill for a microwave repair, which I don't want to do, and a whole bunch of other things. But what I can do is I can press 4, and 4 will now show me the Pi booting up. And so we can watch that. So at least some things work, even though my camera fell over. So you can, if you watch on this camera here, we can see the thing flickering away happily, booting up from the memory key. And on this one here, we can see the actual screen that the Pi is showing us as it boots. You don't have to have a screen though, because after a while, once this thing has got itself going and we see the Pi will actually wake up and be available for people to use in a second when the desktop's loaded, at that point, When we've got that up, it'll go through its boot process. Then we can log on remotely. Here we go, all kinds of fun. You can watch this go past if you like, but as an experience, it's probably a little bit overrated, and it doesn't take too long. But once it's running, then we can connect to the computer remotely, and at that point we can actually get things going. So the reason, by the way, that it got going so quickly when I was using it before is that I've actually deployed from this PC before. I've actually used this PC to deploy images and build things, and so it had kept a copy of the operating system lying around. So well, it's it's doing its best. It has to go through a whole bunch of things. Maybe this time it'll stick, and if it turns out this is just not working, then I really am going to declare today a write-off, and I'm going to go back and turn everything off, and you'll know, and no one will ever see this, because no one will ever know I had all these problems. So let's assume that that is now running. Go back to here and see if I can contact it over secure sockets. So what I do now is I go into here and I'll open up a terminal window. I quite like terminal. Command prompt, here we go, and get the command prompt going. And in here I can now, remember I called it master 2, so I can now try and connect to that, and the command is SSH, which means secure sockets. And I turn on SSH. I don't want caps lock, go away. Thank you. I told you, today's been a nightmare. SSH, and I'm going to go to, well, you put whatever host name you've got, master 2 in my case, .local. And then we're going to log in as Rob. Well, you might not log in as Rob. I'm logging in as Rob because I called myself Rob. So let's see if it finds it. If it doesn't find it, I can't find the host. Because I typed it in wrong. We want master 2 local. Like I said today, I should really record videos on days like today because you learn the most. There you go. Now, this is actually important stuff. We are learning things as though by magic. What's happened is that my PC has contacted the remote PC, and it's decided it doesn't recognize this PC. That's not surprising. The Pi that we have just built has a brand new SD card in it, which has a brand new fingerprint and everything. So as far as this machine's concerned, it said, I've not seen this chap before. Is it okay to talk to him? Now, the reason it does this is because a clever, sneaky, nasty person could make a copy of your machine and put it on your network with the same name, and you might try and connect to that thinking it's your real machine. But because only your machine has got this magical fingerprint, and this is checked when the system starts up, they wouldn't match, and you would know it was a different one because the fingerprints. I'm going to say yes because I'm okay with this. Boink. And so now it's done a few things. We haven't logged in yet. What we've done is we've just proved that this is the machine we think it is. And now my machine has a record. My PC, the laptop I'm using here, has a record of the fact that this is a known trusted device. And so I now have to type in my password. And now we're logged in. So this machine here. No, this machine here. Oh dear. Please don't watch. This machine here is now actually running under the control of my PC. Well, not really. It's now talking to my PC as an equal. And so it's now running. You can't tell from the way the lights are flashing. Although if they all go out, that's normally a bad sign. I'm using Wi-Fi. There's nothing plugged into it now. I've got the breadboard linked up because I'm going to be doing some stuff with hardware. That's all in the future. But for now, what we have is a copy of Linux running inside a Raspberry Pi and talking to my machine via the terminal. And if I want to do, I can take a look at the actual screen of the machine, and it's still sitting there waiting for things to happen. But as far as we're concerned, it's a headless machine. I'm talking to it from my PC, and I can send it commands and things happen. And in a minute or two, we'll do the next step, which is to install Node on that machine. But for this particular make something happen, I've done enough. Thank you.